couples of hundreds, thousands of people come to watch them. This is a picture from Portugal, for example. Almost 1 billion people watch these events annually. To organize events like that, it requires a tremendous effort. Almost 2,000 people are volunteers, mostly are hired to secure 300 kilometers of closed public roads. And this task is particularly challenging for the race organizers because fan accidents do happen. Fans tend to ignore all the warnings, they risk their lives to get a perfect picture of their favorite drivers, and it's simply too hard for organizers to monitor the whole race area, 300 kilometers, all the time. So they need a better solution. Unfortunately, accidents happen, deaths happen. Overall, there have been more than 200 deaths. Only this year, 4 people died in Hungary. So how is the safety currently solved at rally racing? Number one thing are safety cars. So they go in front of competition vehicles. There are a couple of safety cars, after which around 70 competition vehicles go at, let's say, 2 minutes apart. This is an example of such safety vehicle. We mounted our device in WRC in Portugal last year. And they go in front, they go a bit slower. Some of them actually have capability to stop and tell people to go away. They're kind of like first try to save those people. However, the fans know after this car is done, they come closer to the tracks, and then problems get occur. So at the highest level of racing, so World Rally Championship, European, there is a system which actually brings the live stream from the first 20 vehicles to the headquarters, and then also to the audience who pays for the live streams. But this system is too expensive. It requires an airplane and a couple of helicopters to get that live stream from the vehicles. So it's only applicable to those, let's say, 20 races a year. All the other races, almost 1,000 of them in Europe yearly, are simply secured by a couple of safety cars. This is just an airplane view of that system where live stream is going through. So, we figure out there must be a better way. How can we use technology available today to solve this problem in a better way? So we actually designed a system which is mounted in any rally car. This consists of processing units, communication modules, and multiple sensors. So most of that, the most important one is of course the camera which is mounted next to the co-driver. And we constantly monitor the stages, the one-edge image processing, to detect if people stand too close to the roads. Only when we detect such situation, we send a small geocoded image to our server, here, where race organizers can see the locations and images of potential collision hazards. Then the race organizers can assess whether this is a dangerous or okay situation and act accordingly, stop the race or send someone to chase those spectators away. Now, that's the idea of how the product works. Of course, there are many challenges to solve it. Number one are, as you might have expected, really harsh conditions in which we operate. So we operate at really high velocities, 100 kilometers an hour. The drifting, rotational velocities are also huge. Impacts on the car and subsequently on our system are really strong. There are jumps of 80 meters, a couple of seconds. The car itself has really powerful engine, and then those vibrations are transmitted to our system. We operate from -20 in Scandinavia winter rallies to +60 degrees during summer. While at the same time we have to fit in any car, and we have to be completely standalone from all the electronics in the car. We also experienced some crashes. A couple of months ago here in Croatia, WRC, our device was in a safety vehicle which went on its roof. I still continue to detect some people through a broken windshield. It was a minor crash, drivers are okay. They said, oh, it was nothing, just a little dust. But actually they experienced 13 G forces in that crash. So we operate in these conditions. Another huge problem in developing such a system is actually connectivity. So rally races are typically organized in remote areas, hills, where signal is oftentimes really weak, sometimes it even doesn't exist. On the other hand, we should send our alarms as quickly as possible. One more problem that happens at the highest level of races is that a couple of thousand people come to the rural areas which are limited capacity in terms of connectivity. So while it might have signal, the network itself is congested, nothing goes through. Also, we experience some weird artifacts when we drive fast with cell takeovers that we need to handle. We have alternative solutions just using 4G, 5G. We are working with local connectivity solutions where we have some short time spans to connect to the vehicle, do the backup, and transmit it over satellite internet. Another challenge in this whole venture of ours is actually decision making, more of an operational challenge. So at the moment, at the highest level of races, a number of people is looking at live streams from multiple vehicles at the same time, and they try to make decisions which situations are safe and which are not. This decision actually involves a lot of expert knowledge, which you and I still, after a couple of years of doing it, cannot do. So the experienced former rally drivers, they know the road configuration, environment configuration, where there are some walls, trees, banks, and they also know a couple of turns before the spot and after the spot, and they know how drivers will drive at that particular segment. So all that comes into the final decision whether an alarm should be raised or not. So at the moment, we are still operating with a human in the loop. Also, these cars, we are not actually mounted in several cars, at the moment let's say 3, next year 10, and maybe even more. So with a human in the loop, someone has to handle multiple devices and multiple stages at the same time. So we need to improve our processing capability. And that's actually where body perception really comes to help. Some of the tasks that we already have implemented are, of course, object detection for people, tracking of those detected objects, stereo depth reconstruction using 3D surrounding. But we need to actually extend those things with more algorithms such as visual SLAM, visual bump, and visual SLAM, combined with semantic segmentation to make rebuilt maps of dangerous locations. We also need to introduce person-variable identification because we need to kind of close the loop with this decision making. And in the long term, if we want to completely remove the decision maker human in the loop from our system, we need to understand how those vehicles actually drive. And that's, in my opinion, still an open research project. As you can see, there are a lot of things to solve here. We're still a small team. So we actually identified a couple of areas where university can help us a lot. So next I'll talk about how we collaborate with university on the topics of sensor calibration, visual place recognition, and visual geometry and SLAM. We actually received recently a funding for Paul. There's no English translation, but something like startup spin-off for young researchers who started their companies recently while they were associated with the university, where we actually want to automate this whole process. And through this project, we're actually working on licensing 3 technologies, state-of-the-art technologies from here. One is calibration, from Lumber, of course, yeah. Forget that. Something related to sensor calibration, my work with PhD, but also visual place recognition and visual geometry solutions that are state-of-the-art. Another way that we are actually now trying to set up is collaborating with the university through innovation vouchers. Some small parts of our system that need to be improved, and for which we don't have an expertise in our company, for example, the PCB design, can actually be solved through these calls, and that's really great